What's going on, my friends, my fellow composers in the music licensing industry? If I could talk correctly, that would be a help, or just defeat everything that I'm trying to say and want to talk about here today. As you saw from the title of the video, today I wanted to talk a little bit about work for hire. I think it's an interesting concept, but there is a downfall to it, and I'm talking about it because I just completed about 4 tracks for through a publisher. There was a TV show or production company just wanted to, occasionally they just want to buy out, do a complete buyout of a batch of tracks that they really don't want to pay royalties on. I think it's their way of just taking royalties and writers and recouping their own for the future on that deal and not having to pay it. I mean, yeah, that is the part of this industry that stings right now, that we're working to try to fight and find a good medium on. And if some of you guys have kept your head on the game and paid attention, you know there is some frustrations and things going on with companies like Discover and these companies and ESPN that don't pay royalties and try to just do licensing and just, per usage, and we're not going to pay royalties, which there's a good part of licensing for usage, but I think we still have to fight and work hard to hold on to those back end. And again, like I think I said this some time ago, we're going to have to work to change the laws. And I thought, all the stuff we covered in the Music Modernization Act, we thought all this was covered, but getting back to what I wanted to get on and talk about, I just completed 4 tracks for these guys. It was a work for hire, and I got paid per track. It was for a couple of days' work, man. A couple, some swagger type rock tracks. Wasn't a bad payday for 4 tracks. It really wasn't. But I myself would not make a habit of doing that. I'm not doing it because I have to just forget about the tracks and just move forward and pretend as if I had never did them, because see them on TV knowing that I won't get paid for it. And they'll take these tracks, they'll rename them. We'll never know who's doing what and where they'll go with them. And that's going to kind of sting. And I would hope that people are doing things on the up and it's not for a certain benefit. I just hope that, it is a TV show and production company buying them and doing that and going that route. But be that it may, it is what it is. I'm helping them help me, and it's with the deal that I have with this particular library, I want to help them a little bit, because I know when I load their system up with what we've got going on, they will do the same. I hope that they'll do the same. That's to be determined down the road here. That's just what this business is. With the music licensing business, you have no idea. No one on this planet can guarantee you placements unless they come to you and say, I love your music, we're going to use it for the show, 100% guarantee. Those deals, they're giving you money up front, good money, and they're using it, so there's a big difference there. Sometimes they want to sign it exclusively, or if you own it 100% outright, non-exclusive, they'll let you keep all the writers and most of the publishing. Sometimes maybe they want a cut of it, maybe they don't. It just depends on who it is and what. Sadly, it's gotten to the point where a lot of these TV shows, production companies are wanting cuts of publishing, and they're really sticking it to some of these libraries. And these libraries, that's why I don't really want to go into being the publisher. I want to be the composer, because it's tough business being a library. Any of you guys watch this video that have your own library or being your own publisher, you got to spend a lot of your composing time in sales, and it's tough. Now, that's not to say you as a composer can't do that. You can do both, but it's a hard job. Being both is very hard. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours involved in this. There's already a lot of hours involved in composing music and such, but and there's work beyond that sometimes you have to do your metadata and get all this stuff uploaded. And once you get in a routine in this business and just do it, it really is not that problem. So many people are bitching, I don't want to do all that metadata and all that. It's just routine. It is what it is. It's part of this business. But moving back here, I'm kind of getting off tangent. I would not make this habit personally, because I want to know that I'm retaining some writers' royalties for doing this, or whatever it may be. And 4 tracks is 4 tracks, but at the end of the day, we all want money up front, but we're working for that back end too. So it's it's something that you do what you want to do as a composer, but I would caution you not to get in the habit of doing that, because my biggest worry is one of those tracks ends up in like a Mercedes commercial or something, and that ad agency said, listen, we're going to give you $5,000 or $10,000 up front for the music, and we'll take care of the media buyout forms and submit everything to the PROs or whatnot, or to actually let the networks do that. I don't think you have to do that anymore. It's all pretty much understood if it's broadcasted and it's reported. And I think that has changed. You had to do what they called a media buyout. I think it was called, if my terminology is correct, I haven't heard it in a while, media buyout or somewhere. What they had to do is they had to report to the PROs what their estimated amount of broadcasts, or how many times they were going to show that commercial. In other words, they had to do an estimate buyout, and they still tracked it, but it still gave them what to look for, and if it was more or less, they still accounted for it. But you just want to protect yourself, and my best advice here is I wouldn't make a habit of doing that a lot. But if the money is good and you're helping a library publisher or a client, whoever it may be, I know the library, it's not a secret. I already know the library that I put this through is we do a 50-50. So they probably got paid $300 a track, and we split it, But, it's not a bad, they got paid more, because, now thinking of what I got paid, and it probably was, but the amount doesn't matter. That's just a hypothetical amount I'm giving you. But I'm just saying, we split it. I'm sure they got the other half of what I would have been paid if it were 200% of that deal. But again, if you're new to this industry, the 50-50 deal is an industry standard, and that's okay, because libraries are doing the work for you, getting your music published. You get your 100% writers, they get 100% publishing, they split any sync money up front 50-50. And it's not a bad deal, it really isn't. The even better deal is to have 200%. That would be great. Or at least 100% of your writers and a lot of publishing to get as close to that 200%. They used to be back in the day, in the non-exclusive days, if you had straight clients through music supervisors or production companies, they didn't care about publishing, and you got the whole ball of wax. So, anyway, I'm getting to babbling. I just wanted to jump on and want to talk about it for a minute. My advice to you about work for hire stuff is work to try to retain some writer share. If somebody comes to you and wants you to do a large bulk of work for hire, just say, listen, I want to do this, but I want some writer share, whether it be 100%, 50%, or 25%. Get you some writer share out of that, because that's your future. There's a volume there. If they want to batch your tracks, there's a reason why. They're going to use them, and they're going to get placed. So it's a big odd in this industry, and that's just my take on it, my 10 cents. And I do hope that helps you, and I hope anything that I have to say is a big help. And if anybody has been through this and you've had different experiences or anything, because I'm not claiming to be 100% right on everything or the be-all end-all. It's just my experience I'm talking about on that. But if anybody else wants to chime in, I'm always interested in learning something new, and I'm always interested in knowing what your experience was. Anyway, I thank you guys for watching. I'm going to hop off here, and we will see you guys on the next video. Be cool. Thank you.